It's the Eagle Community Television Forum with your host, Gary Shorman.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Shorman and this is the Forum on Eagle Television. It's good to have you watching along. We're going to be talking about TMP, what goes on there with our guest, the principal at TMP, Chad Meitner. And Chad, good to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
You know, we get a chance to do these updates every once in a while, but a lot of times people like myself don't have the students involved anymore with TMP. Want to know what's going on. You're halfway through the school year. Has this been a successful school year so far?
Oh yeah, it's been a great school year so far. I mean, we've had just all the activities that you kind of get used to being every year, but each year they're different in their own way. They're special, and when the students are out there making mistakes, but also having success and learning from both, it's a good school year.
Well, we'll talk about some of the things that those of us, again, outside here about, some of the sporting things. Football team, a challenging year, but they play in such a tough league.
Oh yeah, our league is a great football league, and so you get to know how you stack up when you go against those league schools. But it does make it tough for Coach Colley to try to rebuild that program when you don't get as many teams on your schedule that you can match up with. But that gives us something to shoot for. They won 2 games this year, 1 game last year, so we hope we're going in the right direction.
And a couple teams have done pretty well. The cross-country team and girls golf team both had pretty successful years.
Yep, and volleyball went to state as well. Yeah, cross-country boys team went to state. The girls golf team went to state and took 2nd place. Kari Dinkle took an individual 2nd place at state. So yeah, lots of success, and the volleyball team had a great season. And the two teams they ended up losing to in pool play ended up playing for the state championship, 1st and 2nd place, so nothing to be ashamed of there either.
Now, how does a principal keep up with all these things? Because that's frankly a small part of what goes on at TMP, because the educational process, and there's a couple of really neat things happening at TMP right now. How do you personally keep up with all of that?
Well, I rely on a lot of good people to help. I mean, it's one of those things where you're just you do your job and everyone else does their job and you trust each other. And but there's a lot I miss. You know, I don't know all the great things that are going on in the classroom because I can't be in every classroom every minute. I don't see all the great games and club activities and service opportunities because you just can't be there. But our website, Jeff Brule and Vanessa Shoemaker with the mass communications class do a great job of kind of logging all of that, being our diary for the school year, and it's on the website, it's in our yearbook, and so it's a way to keep track of all those things that no one person can keep up with.
And that's a good way to keep track of what's going on at TMP is the website, and I also understand there's an online store. For those that are TMP fans can go online and actually now do some shopping, maybe even holiday shopping.
Well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, the Booster Club, Sports Booster Club, has always sold sweatshirts, T-shirts, jackets in the alumni office. Well, this year they've put a lot of those products online and even expanded how many things they could have. And so, yeah, you can go to tmp-m.org and you can shop away, and hopefully, and you'll be supporting the school at the same time. So you know that the money's going to help the school while you get some pretty sweet little gear too.
When you look at things like the website, because you have international students at TMP, how do you set that up to really communicate not only with students that are there, but parents, family, and alumni? I mean, how do you direct it to make that happen?
Well, I don't do anything, but I do know that the website has a translation feature, and a lot of websites do nowadays, where you go up to the right-hand corner and you click down and you pick your flag, and it'll put it into the language of your choice. And so I know the translations aren't always perfect, but we have a couple of students from Taiwan, from China, a couple from Rwanda in Africa, and those families, when they get on there, they can click a flag that gets closest to their language, and they'll be able to keep up with a lot of what's going on, even from across the pond, I guess. We even have a student who's from Taiwan. He's on the basketball team, and his parents can watch him play because the games are broadcast on the Eagle TV, and so they can get online and watch him play against Hayes High.
How does that
pretty
work?
Neat.
How does that work, by the way? When you have families over there, do a lot of these kids just come here for the whole year? Do they ever see their families, go home over the holidays, or how does that work?
Oh, it varies. Some families, the kids get homesick a little more frequently, so they'll go home over spring break or Christmas break. But others, maybe their budget's a little tighter, and they'll stay the whole year and not go back till summer.
Let's talk about academics for just a little bit. A couple of things taking place recently, including a neat trip that's going to take place that involves science and religion. That's an interesting combination. What's that all about?
Well, and that's exactly why it's important, because a lot of folks feel like those are somehow not compatible. But at a Catholic school, they're very compatible. And we were fortunate enough to be selected by Notre Dame University to have 3 of our teachers participate in a seminar. Our teachers, 2 from science, our physics teacher and our biology teacher, and one of our religion teachers will take courses, have reading, and then in the summer they'll go to South Bend, Indiana on the campus of Notre Dame and have a week-long class with other teachers at Catholic schools about how to discuss the marriage actually of religion and science, the science of faith and reason, and how those are actually compatible and not contradictory.
How hard is it to get involved with one of those? That's certainly, when we go to Notre Dame, that's a prestigious place. How do you get involved with something like that?
Well, it's not easy because we were declined 2 years in a row prior, so we know that it's an honor to be selected. They pay for our teachers to go down there. They'll pay for their room and board while they're there, and an opportunity to have professors from Harvard, Notre Dame. They have faculty from other universities come in for this. And but really we just applied. We said why we think we would benefit from this and how we can help our community and the education world by attending.
What will be the outcome? Those teachers maybe be on a program like this, talk about that, or once they get back, how do they translate that or tell that story to others in the community and others in the school system?
Yeah, well, the hope is that they have that dialogue and have a better understanding of how those 2 content areas are complementary and are able to come back and not only give our students a clear picture of that, so that a student doesn't feel like, oh, well, if I have a call of faithfulness to me, I can't be a scientist. Well, that's not it at all. They can still get into those fields and discover great things about the world. And then also with other teachers in our school to be able to, they'll be like mini professors of that topic. They'll be experts in a sense, and they'll be able to come back and share it with all our other teachers. And so we hope that the end product is that there's a sense that at our school we can do scientific investigation, discover the truth about the world around us, and at the same time giving honor to our God. So that's important for Prep-Marian and I think for our community.
One of the things, and we'll talk about this, we're going to take a break and come back, but science has so many nuances today, and Hansen Foundation just awarded the school ability to buy a 3D printer. We're going to take a break and come back about 3D printing and kind of how that ties in as well. Our guest is Chad Meitner, is a principal at Prep-Marian. Back with more after this from Hayes Med.
Hayes Med is your first and best choice for healthcare. They're the only facility providing tertiary level services in this region. With more than 70 physicians and 26 specialties ranging from heart, orthopedic, spine care, cancer, obstetrics and gynecology, wound care, rehabilitation and surgery, including the Da Vinci robotic surgery, Hayes Med is your comprehensive health provider for people throughout Western Kansas. Hayes Med, helping people be healthy.
The most exciting yards in football. It's NFL Red Zone from NFL Network. Get every touchdown from every game, every Sunday afternoon. And football doesn't stop on NFL Network. It goes all week.
We're covering it like crazy.
Get NFL Red Zone from NFL Network today.
Add NFL Red Zone so you can watch all the game-defining yards in football. Call us at 877-61-EAGLE today.
Welcome back to the second half of our forum program here on Eagle TV. If you have any ideas for future show, we'd like you to give me a call at Gary Shorman. You can call us at our corporate office at 785-625-4000, or you can, better yet, find me online at gary.shorman@eaglecom.net, gary.shorman@eaglecom.net. Our guest is Chad Meitner, who is the principal at Prep-Marian, and we were talking going into the break about 3D printing, because that's cool. You read about it. In fact, one of the articles I just read over the weekend was talking about how 3D printing is really the next generation of technology to be able to create an idea and print it out on the spot. whether it be a part for something or whether it be an idea you want to generate. And you're actually going to have a 3D printer that's part of what's going on in your science and technology part of the school.
Yeah, and it's one of the, I think there's 4 or 5 of those branches right now of the latest innovations, and that's one of them. And yeah, 3D printing was something that has just become more and more affordable, and it's something that's used in a lot more industries. You know, not just engineering. It's always, you know, kind of been obvious that you can use it there, but also in art and graphic design, and so what we're going to be able to do with that money from the Hansen Foundation is be able to purchase a printer and all the supplies. It's like a filament, a plastic filament that gets heated up, and then it cools into the shape that the student designs, and then they're able to see the end result of their project.
You know, I could be a mad scientist with something like that.
I know.
Draw that up on your iPad and then print it out.
Yeah, and you know, personally, I've never had an experience with those, and I know a lot of folks have. But to be able, I know the students, when they grab that technology and get a chance to utilize it, it opens up a whole lot of avenues, and for the teacher as well, to be able to plan instruction with a project in mind, and then they can go to that type of a piece of equipment.
Well, how do you approach, because that's learning. It's learning a new technology, but it's learning in general. How does TMP maybe differ from other schools in their approach to just learning in general?
Yeah, well, I can't speak for other schools too much, but what I have seen is that at TMP, Marian, we really strive to give the student a foundation of many different things. At the same time, you're trying to figure out your career in high school, and you're starting to figure out what you might want to do with your life. We think that it's still important to get a wide variety of knowledge and experiences so that you can select what you're made to do, you know, what you're going to be most happy doing. And so, yeah, when you have something like a 3D printer, it's hard not to, it's I guess easy to say, well, I'm not sure what that's about when you don't get exposed to it. Well, when you get a chance to use it in your science class, your math class, and you get an idea of maybe what you enjoy doing, it's just another tool. And so I think I'd say TMP's theory of learning or philosophy is that we want to make our students well-rounded individuals. We don't want them to be one-dimensional. There's just, I don't think that's ever been a preference when you can have somebody be well-rounded and do so many things well.
Chad, one of the things I know, switching gears a little bit, people drive by, a lot of dirt's moving outside. There's a new kind of parking lot, you can see that.
Some's not moving.
Some's not moving as well.
Yeah.
Tell us, what's going on on the property itself?
Well, this summer we had the field house, the Al Billinger field house restrooms renovated, and so that was an extension to the building. And then we also had the old parking lot torn out and put in a asphalt millings parking lot. And to do that well so that the water would all drain away from the building, you had to remove a lot of dirt. And so, yeah, we've got some monster truck track or some ski slopes over to the north there. And we relied a lot on volunteers and folks who help us out to help us stay on budget. And a lot of those guys who can do that are farmers. And so they told us right away, it's probably going to be December before we can get to it, because in the fall we're doing our fall crops. So, and hey, we understand, and it'll be moved eventually.
What does that mean to TMP, the volunteer effort that goes in? Whether it be ACE auction, the amount of effort that goes into keeping the school going, whether it be financially or just physically moving dirt?
Both, yeah. It's we wouldn't be able to exist. And I think that's the case all the way down from when the Capuchins started the school, that if the families and the students themselves and alumni and supporters weren't willing to get involved, and whether it's helping do something that saves money or whether it's donating money, if you aren't willing to get involved, it's not going to last for very long. And now we've been here over 108 years, and it's still the same.
Still going.
Yep, and we're still going, and we still need everybody's help, little, medium, and small.
And if somebody wants to find out more, they can drive by and see the pile of dirt, but there's a lot of things they don't see that may need help along the line. There's programs. You had the Little Mermaid that was the musical this past fall. Cool deal. If they want to maybe help with design, help with maybe some of the work involved with that, or anything that they were doing. How do they participate if they don't already know? How do they do that?
Well, what we do is we maintain a database, because it can get difficult to track of who can do what when so many people are offering. And so we have a database of folks who have told us, okay, we can help, or we prefer to help with grounds work, or I'm more artistic, so I want to be able to help with the choir or the band, or I like athletics. And so once we get those people on those lists, we send that out to the person who's doing the play, or we send it out to a coach who needs some help. So if they want to get on that list, we're always adding to it. Just give us a call at the school, ask for the advancement office, and we'll get you on that list. And you meet a lot of people that way too. There's a lot of friendships that have been developed and built because you were working side by side. So it's not only a good deed, but I think sometimes there's those benefits of friendship that come from it.
And they can always go to the website as well, which is?
tmp-m.org.
Go there and check it out. Chad, good to have you on our program again. Thanks for the update.
My pleasure.
Our guest has been Chad Meitner, who is the principal at TMP here in Hayes. Thanks for watching The Forum. It's brought to you by Hayes Med and by Eagle Communication, our community connected.
It's a beautiful day in our super high-speed internet great customer service neighborhood. Like you, this is where we live. In fact, our company is employee-owned, so it's our goal to improve the quality of life for everyone in our community by delivering faster, more reliable internet, clearer, more feature-laden phone service, quality TV channels, all with the level of customer service you'd expect from people who are your neighbors. Eagle Communications, our community connected.